What's up guys, I'm Spicy Orange, welcome to the channel. This video is a narrative battle I wrote myself between Pickle from Baki and Killer Croc from DC. If you like the video, be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord link below, and yeah, let's get into the video. Peace. The sewers of Gotham are not like other sewers in the world. You would expect to find an assortment of reptiles, rats, toxic waste, murky water, and sometimes alligators. In the sewers of Gotham, however, there's plenty of that, but something else lurks down there. Something big. Killer Croc, aka Waylon Jones, has been living there for years. He knows the passageways and tunnel systems like the back of his hand. He's seen everything come through his territory, from men in bat suits, to giant zombies, to drugged-out luchadors. But tonight, he's going to meet someone new, and he looks delicious.
There's nothing ever new around here,
Croc says while scraping one of his teeth with his claw.
I've eaten nearly everything that's crawled down here. Maybe I could...
His sentence was cut short when a sudden vibration occurred, shaking the tunnel system he walked through.
What the hell is this? An earthquake?
While a bit shook and curious about this sudden rumble, he hears splashing and what sounds like concrete being smashed in the tunnel next to his. Without hesitation, Croc bashes through the wall with his shoulder and shouts.
Alright, who's in? Here.
Croc stops short when he sees the reason behind the noise. It was Pickle, the prehistoric caveman, fighting an enormous alligator, roughly 30 feet long and weighing almost 2 tons. Croc looks in awe as this mere man is strangling this enormous monster. The large arms of Pickle wrap around the alligator's throat, like he's done this many times before.
When this is over, they'll probably end up killing each other. I'll get dinner and a show.
While fantasizing about how both will taste, Croc becomes perplexed when he notices that the man has a large grin across his face, as well as white pasty eyes while grappling the beast.
Wait, he's happy?
Croc asks with a confused look on his face. Pickle's veins in his neck, legs, and arms become noticeably larger as he squeezes harder, all while the alligator thrashes itself around the tunnel, smashing Pickle into the concrete walls and through the murky water, which doesn't affect Pickle at all. He continues grappling with no sign of losing grip. As the alligator lets out a small hiss, Pickle lets out a mighty howl. However, both noises were drowned out by the sound of the alligator's neck being completely crushed. The alligator's limp body falls backwards, slamming onto Pickle, who was still holding on. The gator's body made a large splash in the murky water. It was quiet for a moment, until suddenly the gator's massive body was being lifted into the air. It was Pickle, lifting his hard-earned meal in the air as a sign of victory, all while giving a small and calm smile. Pickle lays his meal gently on the ground. As he kneels down and gets ready to take a bite, he hears someone call out to him.
Hey you, monkey boy.
Pickle looks back, a bit startled, not expecting anyone to be down here. What he saw speaking to him was unlike anything he has ever encountered.
Alright, I don't know who you are, and I don't care. You're in my territory, and no one.
These words were nothing but noise to Pickle. All he could think about was seeing the unusual monster in front of him. Pickle is put in a near mesmerized state, trying to grasp the fact that a half-man, half-dinosaur hybrid is standing right in front of him, but he cannot do so. He notices his muscles, claws, skin, and sheer size. He suddenly realizes this creature would be an amazing opponent, and would probably taste amazing as well. Pickle ends his thinking and gives a massive grin to Croc. A little unnerved by the sudden smile from his soon-to-be meal, he yells,
You killed that gator pretty easily. Let's see how you handle a croc.
Without giving a second thought, both creatures leap at each other, leaving small craters in the concrete from where they took off. Their arms extended, ready to grab, and their jaws stretched out, ready to bite. They clash. Their hands clasp each other's tightly, trying to push the other back, but neither would budge. This back and forth grapple match goes on for what seems like forever. In the midst of this struggle, Pickle thinks to himself how different this creature is from all the others he's battled in the past. Pickle starts running images through his mind, remembering his countless battles with dinosaurs and martial arts masters. None of them are like Croc, a man with the added armor and weapons of a dinosaur. Pickle was in near ecstasy when he came to the realization of who he's fighting. With a large and excited smile, he pushed harder, pushing Croc back, sliding his feet, and tearing up the concrete for 5 feet at least. Croc struggles to push back, while clenching his teeth to the point it hurts his jaw. He thinks to himself,
How? How's this monkey this strong?
Croc keeps pushing, but to no avail. The next thing he knows is his back is pressed up against the tunnel wall. Pickle continues to push, and Croc's still struggling. Cracks begin to form on the concrete where Croc's back is touching. With a large grunt, Pickle pushes even harder, and shoves Croc through the wall, leaving a massive hole. They both end up crashing out the other side, landing in the water, with Pickle on top of Croc. Pickle quickly puts both his knees on the sides of Croc's waist, pinning him down. With both arms raised, he smashes down repeatedly on the Croc. Croc holds his arms up to block. With a mixture of punches and smashing, Pickle doesn't seem to want to let up. He keeps striking for over a minute, with Croc just barely able to keep up his guard.
This is actually starting to hurt. He won't stop. Fine. I'll make you stop.
As Pickle goes for another smash, his arms suddenly stop. Croc grabbed both his arms before they landed. Pickle was a little shocked by how fast this creature moved.
I learned this move from Batman.
While still grabbing onto Pickle's arms, he quickly slides his feet from under Pickle and pushes him off by extending his legs. Hitting him in the stomach, Pickle is then sent flying into the concrete wall. Croc gets up slowly with his eyes closed and cracks his neck.
Alright, King Kong. Time to...
He opens his eyes to see Pickle standing right in front of him, staring down at him with large pasty white eyes and gritting teeth, breathing heavily. Croc thinks to himself,
Impossible. I kicked him hard enough to knock Bane out for a week.
Croc looks behind Pickle to see 2 large footprints embedded in the concrete wall.
So after I kicked him, he jumped off the wall and returned to his original position. Interesting.
Croc then shouts,
Alright, let's see how you handle this.
Croc throws a brutal right hook to Pickle's jaw, which stuns him a bit. Pickle makes a quick recovery, however, thanks to his thick neck stopping his brain from shaking. Pickle returns the favor by smacking Croc in the face, knocking him down.
Ah, you bastard! I can knock you down too!
Moving quickly, Croc lunges for Pickle's leg and bites into his calf with his large, gnarly teeth. Pickle howls in pain and drops to the ground. While struggling to overcome the pain, Pickle kicks Croc in the face repeatedly with his other foot. Croc still holds on and is determined to rip his calf clean off. However, Pickle lets out a massive howl and kicks Croc in the face with all his might, making him release his jaws from his leg. Croc's head is knocked backwards, with a few chipped teeth and blood pouring from his nostrils.
That fucking hurt.
Croc rushes in and leaps towards Pickle with his arms extended, ready to claw at him with killing intent. With near lightning-fast reflexes, Pickle steps forward and uppercuts Croc in the chin. His fist sends his bottom jaw smashing into his upper jaw, breaking a few of his teeth. The force of this blow sends Croc's head smashing into the roof of the tunnel, leaving a head-sized hole in it. Croc's limp body falls to the ground. Pickle looks down to see his fallen opponent. With a fractured jaw, Croc lays on the ground with blood flowing out of his mouth, being drained away by the passing sewer water. Pickle kneels down, with tears running down his cheeks, showing respect to his fallen opponent. He proceeds to grab Croc's arm, ready to take a bite. All of a sudden, Croc's arm was released from Pickle's grasp, and his hand was gripped around his throat. Croc slowly rises and yells out,
"Don't you ever underestimate me!"
With one hand, Croc tosses Pickle away by his throat. Croc springs up, ready to continue. Pickle gets back up as well, and locks eyes with Croc. They both share a roar and charge at each other. With both of their arms raised, gripped tighter than ever, and flexed to the very limit, they simultaneously punch each other in the face. The thunderous blow sends a shockwave throughout the tunnel system, shaking the water and crumbling parts of the tunnel. While both were a bit stunned, they continued throwing punches, persistent to knock the other out. They traded blows for over a minute, with neither seeming to slow down. Their faces become bloodier and more bruised by the second. With all that he could muster, Croc roars and unclenches his fist, revealing his claws. He slashes at Pickle's chest, leaving deep cuts. Pickle jumps back to avoid another slash. They both breathe heavily, looking at each other with hate in their eyes. Pickle grazes his chest with his hand, leaving a large smear of blood on his palm.
"What's wrong? Don't tell me you're gonna faint at the sight of blood."
Not listening to the dinosaur man's rambling, Pickle thinks to himself of a similar situation like this that has happened before. It was when he faced the swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi. The pain he felt from that man with his blades, the torture he received on his body, the fear that washed over him, the anger he felt. At this very moment, Pickle knew nothing but anger.
"Don't like getting cut, huh? Well, that's too..."
Croc stops himself as he witnesses something horrific. Pickle's body starts changing. His back, his wrists, his forearms, even his expression, changes to that of a monster. The most defining feature was the large scar running from his shoulder down to his chest, stomach, back, and going right back to the shoulder. Croc was amazed, yet a little uneasy, not knowing what his opponent was capable of now. Looking at Pickle's wrinkled and enraged face, he steps forward.
"I fought worse. Bring it on!"
Croc sprints forward. Pickle goes for a swing with his right arm, but Croc slides under and claws at Pickle's obliques on the way by. He then dashes at him again, clawing at his back with both hands. Pickle whips around at blurring speeds and delivers a spinning back fist to Croc's head. Croc goes flying and thinks to himself,
"He's stronger than before."
Croc lands on his feet about 20 feet away from Pickle. About to make another remark regarding his opponent's appearance and fighting skill, Croc notices the slashes he delivered to Pickle weren't bleeding as much as he thought.
"So that form you took makes your muscles a little denser, huh? Guess I'll have to claw you harder."
Croc rushes in for the final blow. He takes both hands and stabs Pickle in the chest with all of his claws.
"It was nice knowing..." "Hey, let go!"
Croc tries to pull his fingernails out, but they become stuck in Pickle's hardened pectorals.
"You bastard, let go!"
Pickle's whole body was hardened into one big lump of muscle. With Croc's nails stuck in his chest, Pickle had an interesting idea. With one hand raised, Pickle slams down onto Croc's arms, ripping his claws off while still trapped in his pecs.
you apart!
In an animalistic rage, Croc rushes forward to punch him, but Pickle runs in and closes the distance between them in an instant. Pickle launches a straight right to Croc's face, shattering more of his teeth. Pickle continues his mindless assault, unleashing a fury of blows to Croc, with his arms moving faster than the eye can see. An uppercut to the stomach, a right hook to the temple, and overhand blows to the nose. Croc didn't have a chance to defend. Croc thinks to himself again.
I won't lose. I can't lose. I've always been everyone's punching bag. Bane's. Batman's. I'm sick of it. They should fear me. They should fear my name.
Then, with all that he could muster during the onslaught of punches, he lets out one final message to his opponent.
I'm Killer Croc!
Croc then grabs Pickle's arms, mid-swing. He then extends his jaw as much as he could right in front of Pickle's face, and unleashes a roar loud enough to shake the sewer tunnel. While still holding on to his arms, he drops down and drop kicks Pickle in the stomach, launching him 15 feet away, but he recovers quickly. Pickle, ready to continue the slugfest, sees Croc in a four-legged stance. He's gone full monster. With a slight grin from Pickle, he gets into a four-legged position himself. They plan to tackle each other to see who will be left standing. This fight has gone beyond a brawl between titans. They're going off of pure primal and animal instinct. This isn't for food anymore. This is for dominance. This is for pride. This is to show who really is stronger. They stare at each other intensely, waiting for the right time to strike. They stare for over a minute, before their eyes widen. They begin their charge, leaving large craters in the concrete. They charge towards one another, roaring and howling as loud as they can, while they fly forwards ready to endure the impact. It was over in seconds. Once they collided, the answer was clear. Pickle bashes into Croc, sending both of them crashing into the concrete wall of the tunnel, bursting out the other side, and through the next wall, ending up in the third tunnel over. The tunnel they were in was filled with thick clouds of dust. It was quiet, but the silence was broken by someone coughing. Pickle rises from the cloud, choking a little. Reverted to his normal form, Pickle looks down and sees something amazing. The dust settles to show Croc, shaking and struggling to get on his feet. With his body and face a complete wreck, he tries to utter a few words.
You win.
He collapses and falls to his knees, bloody to a pulp, his eyes swollen, and his teeth gone. He slumps over, not wanting to give up, but he has nothing left to give. Seeing his opponent on his knees, Pickle gets down on his knees himself and clasps his hands together. He prays for his fallen opponent, wishing for him to continue living and get stronger. He then lays Croc on his back and notices his chest rising and falling. Pickle walks away, rubbing the bruises and cuts on his chest and face. Making his way down the tunnel, he stops before turning the corner and looks back to check on him one last time. He was gone. Pickle gives a little smile, knowing his prayer worked. He leaves hungry, but satisfied. I hope you guys enjoyed that little story I cooked up. I might make something like this in the future, but I think I'm gonna cover other things, like versus battles, character analysis, and stuff like that for a bit. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're a fan of Baki, comics, manga, whatever, please join the Discord linked in the description, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see all you spicy people later. Peace.